Hello, welcome again to another Talk Architecture podcast episode on women architect in leadership roles. It is the part two interview and conversation with architect Siti Aisyah Razin, the technical director of TriArc. And as we recall, juggling between being a mother of two, being an artist, being a part time tutor, it seems that um, Aisha has a lot in her hands, and her best project, the Jandela Residence, has just completed 90% of it. By being one of the three partners in TriArc, she's also a content creator with content writing in the LinkedIn platform, and she leads she's a leader or the person in charge of overseeing a couple of architects doing several projects and also on site about three projects. And I was taken. Hello, Aisha. I was taken.
Hi, thank you for the introduction again.
Yeah, I was taken. Why I initiate this podcast with interview with you, also on YouTube here, is that you seem to be that passion in teaching the younger generation on the right way to do details, because I, being someone who has not really been in architecture practice so much but loving details when I have the chance to do it, I can get caught up with my students of architecture. Let's go and look into the details and stuff, and there you are teaching about this stuff on social media. Tell me a bit about how you become the technical director, not the other directors, the marketing or the sales director, or they're in a company, a kind of large company, which now you have less than 20 people, but at one time you had more people. But it is like a medium-sized company to me, where you have a lot of projects and being very busy. Why are you the technical director?
I think it doesn't come instantly lah. It
Okay,
comes
okay.
from the beginning of my career. So I think along the way, because my both of my Azan and Sastina, they were really into detail. Sometimes Sastina, she used to take pictures every time she go travels, and then she come back to the office and she just show, I want this kind of detail. So we will
Mm,
produce that kind of detail. So
mm,
that kind of that the work culture that they have was kind of instilled in me as well.
yeah.
So it kind of set off my foundation from beginning until now. So in my firm right now, there's three of us, and each of us have their own strengths. Um, like Johan, he's more into design and macro, and Azan is more towards the business side. So and because they know so my strength is more towards contract, towards technical things, towards detailing. So that's how it came lah after that. So they I mean the position is based on our strengths, and because I'm now the technical director, so I know how things at site sometimes is not as what you draw, and sometimes when you draw it's
Mm.
not same as at site. So, and then when you look at things, it's not just on macro part, you have to also delve into the micro parts, because this micro part is the one that basically emphasize the user experience in that space. So I think that's where the interest comes in as well.
Yes, that's your interest. It's very difficult to explain to other people why you like to be doing that more than other things, in trying to figure out what in the company or in architecture that you interested more with, isn't it? I mean, that is something that you naturally cultivate as time goes by. The word mentor is being more and more, because the sort of choices that
Yeah,
you make and what you do and your concern, spending a lot of your time giving advice. And why did you become a mentor? Is it because you want to right the wrong, because you see something that is not happening right, possibly the details, but possibly also the attitudes of staff members? And And we're looking into women architects. So there are women architects in your company, which that are younger than you, has come in, and you're actually supervising them and giving
Yeah.
reviews about their work performances. Um, do you see the younger generation being able to get up to par with well, you're not very old, but with your generation in a way? How do you feel
Yes,
about
of
generally
course.
in your office?
I think if they were given opportunities, especially like for my most of my architects are females as well. When given the right opportunities, the right training, they can excel without doubt, definitely. But for me, the reason that I start to share more, to write more in on social media is because after I left Jundela Part 1, so there was a gap of me not involving in the technical details.
Mm,
So and then after I came back, there were a bit of haywire. I would say haywire in some stuff, some drawings, something. So when you implement it on site, hey, this is not what we should do. This is not what we do. This is not what we do. So some of the young architects in my office, they had to unlearn things as well, because
unlearn.
things that because things that they thought is the right way, so it's not the right way. So if if
Mm.
we can avoid it from beginning, that's how you have to basically. It's best to do right from beginning lah, rather than do it
Is
later.
it
So that's the
construction?
kind of thing. I mean, that is why I mean, and we as architects, our fundamentals is always to plan ahead. So we plan ahead what we want to do. So, but that is the ideal world, lah. But we are not living in an ideal world where ideal things doesn't happen that way. But if I can try to at least guide from beginning the at the very beginning, as in like this is what should be, this is what should be, this is what you should have, then definitely they can do. It's just that probably lacking of mentorship during that time, maybe.
Yeah. Mentorship. You had a
So
good
now my architects for Jundela are all girls.
all right. That's good. You trust them and they're part of
So
the
my
team.
architects now, yes, I fully trust them. I let them manage their time. If they don't know any, if they are unsure, they will ask me definitely. But I will. But having said that, I definitely. But I mean, I don't hold their hands, but at the same time, I don't let it go as well. So um,
That's an interesting analogy.
yeah, and then when you're dealing with the high contract value projects, it's a different league, different kind of people.
I
There
think.
are many difficult stakeholders that you have to. So you have to always outwit, outsmart, always 20 steps ahead than everybody. And so I want them to be able to expose to that kind of um, learning. They make mistakes all along the way, but it's okay because mistakes are what make you grow. It's part of your career growth. But
Okay.
you have to learn from the mistakes, lah. Don't repeat it.
I like the fact that we're talking about the Jandela residence team that is in your office, you see. The way I see it now, I want to go and give this scenario and you can comment on this further. The way I see it, that you pay your talent or your skill now is like, because this is a high contract value project, you are knowing that you are the one that is holding that burden, or that you know that sort of,
Mastermind.
yeah, you're the person who's holding it. Because when you talk about you still hold their hands, it's like not necessarily you holding the architect's hand. They still need to do their own work, right? Those
Yeah.
architects under you, but they are assured that you are there as the
Mm,
person who is the go between the client, or the one that is controlling the money for this project,
mm,
that
mm,
you have this synergy with this client and trying to control it. And while you are overseeing, indeed, the details are happening for the project. I mean, you are still wanting to supervise the quality control. So there are, of course, check and balances. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not easy for us to do so many things, and then you need to come up with a system. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the system is in your mind, and how you want to translate it into the company system. It's not an
Yeah.
easy task to do, and it's the value is in the people working on the project, yourself
Yeah.
and your team members. Now, I assume that your partners also uh, understand that that's how you do it, and
Yeah.
and how do you see that this is to be continued? I mean, you'll be around, of course, to do this as time goes on, and you want more flexibility, but flexibility in time also comes with less control,
Yeah.
more control of other things. How do you see that you're going to negotiate this project, and in particular, and how your career going to work out or map out in Triarch?
Looking for creative inspiration? Graphite Pro Radio explores the intersection of design, culture, and innovation, one conversation at a time. Join us for deep dives into the creative process and game-changing ideas. Start listening today.
I think I mean I have come to this realization that not everything is symmetry. So some things you just have to let go because
Mm,
you can never avoid mistakes. So mistakes memang does happen all the time.
yeah.
So you just have to find the right balance. Basically, you just have to find that line in between the um, uh, the the enthusiast towards the design and the
Mm,
practicality aspects of it. And
correct.
I mean, my even my partners now they know I am even more fussy than them actually
Yes,
when
yes.
it comes to my work discipline. But fortunately, I think my architects, I mean, they have their moments as well. Sometimes they cannot attend meeting because their kids sakit lah. Sometimes they have to skip
Sure.
a bit here and there. But I learned to forgive things that is beyond our control. We whatever that we have, what we focus on what we have, but things
Mm,
that we don't have, things that we don't know, is something things that are beyond our control. We don't stress up over those things, but because there will always be challenges despite whatever projects, big projects, small projects, there's always be challenges, and there are so many stakeholders. And so for the beauty of this project would be different than from this project, but the whole thing is the same thing, is that the mindset that you have, that you have to have, is that everything is like a tactical thing. You have to be able to think A, but at the same time thinking A1, A2, AB, or
yeah.
so that needs practice. So so that needs practice. I mean, experience helps, but like for instance, the other day we have another upcoming tender for a 1 week short of tender drawings, but there is no way that you can do 50 drawings in a week. So
Mm,
but so from that we have to be able to prioritize which one should come first, which one that we should prioritize to prepare compared to this one, because it will always comes later. So to me, I stop expecting perfection because there will never be a perfection moment. So whatever that we cannot do, I mean, there must be a good reason lah. I mean, and then for my staffs right now, I think they are good staff. They have they have their kids, but the ability to balance still, it's so far it's okay, it's reasonable. As
mm.
long as that we can accept, we will accept. So I don't see any problem lah.
This is very interesting, actually, what you said here. There's so many things here. The big thing is the mindset, and maybe
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, the
growth.
mindset.
Yeah, being a coach in a growth mindset program myself. Um, we the I think the word flexibility, which came earlier, is also to do with this kind of a system that is going on with regard to
Yeah.
work ethics,
Mm.
how do you operate, and it's kind of personalized, yet it's common sense that what you're saying, and I'm looking at you as a leader, a woman, happen to be a woman with kids, happen to be interested in a lot of things, but being very practical at the same time. You see, when you talk about tactical just now, and
Yeah.
the different scenarios that could happen, maybe A, B, C,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
with plan A, go with plan. If plan A doesn't work, go with plan B. You see, a lot
Yeah.
of football because I'm a football fan.
I think it's like a chess game, you know?
Yes, it's chess game more than anything else. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's the same analogy. So you can say that it's a football thing. Yeah.
Yeah, even well, never mind. We'll talk about that after this, not now. But there is kind of like you 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 probably have a lot to say about where your shall we say uh, your learning comes from because you're a mentor to those architects and giving some sort of, shall we say, when you said that you understand they have family and giving them make training them and say coaching them, there's a
Yeah.
word coaching rather than, because you're a mentor. I come to the
Exactly.
conclusion that you're someone who concerns with your staff and you're a mentor yourself, and you and is good for your staff. And I would expect your staff to stick around working with you because they would learn a lot from you, and
I hope so.
they can see a clear vision of how to see themselves down the road the way I see it. Um, and that's a good example of being aware tactically. And you said chess, and I said football. And not many women do that, do they? Do you think that what advice would you give to women architects at this juncture if they were to come across so much challenges in their career, where which company to choose, how to choose a boss that is, they don't know the boss that they're going to choose, they're going to be with, can in the company.
Yeah.
Well, do you
Yeah.
think it's like, no, everybody is reasonable, it's just how you handle it? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud, but you're the expert in architecture practice, so I'd like to learn from you if I could. Thank
I
you.
think soft skills are very important
Yeah.
because architecture is basically people.
Mm.
Apart from designing, you are basically dealing with
Architecture.
human beings. You are
Mm.
dealing with people. People are not just the consultants, not just the clients, but even the security guards, even the makcik cleaner, the site is basically people. So there must be a bit of empathy. There must be a bit of um, um,
Mm.
how do you say it? I mean, there's a empathy. I would say, yeah, empathy. Like there would,
Empathy,
you
empathy,
have to
yes.
be strict, but you must at the same time be empathy. The beginning is gonna be, it's not gonna be pretty. The beginning is gonna be difficult because you are basically, when you are starting, you are a nobody. You do not know anything. So keep showing up.
Mm.
I think the best advice I could say is keep showing up. And even if you don't know, it's okay to ask questions. If you make mistakes, but don't be afraid to make mistakes. My Azlan used to say that you have to start from bottom. You have to start from beginning because if you don't start from beginning, then how would you lead a team? Beginning
Mm.
means that there are some mindsets of architects that we are architects, so we don't do draftmen, which is I kind of disagree with that because I think we should start from the very bottom. Then only when you know what to draw, when you know what to expect, when you know the time that it's going to spend, so it's easy for you to lead. It's easy for you to teach. This is what you need. This is what you want, and instead of apa, doing it blindly. So if you have the opportunity to get that kind of mentorship in your office, that is a blessing. So it's going to be difficult but you just have to keep showing it up. It's difficult at the beginning, but it's fruitful and meaningful towards the end.
The beginning is always the baby steps, right?
Yeah, the
To
baby
growing
steps.
up,
You
and
just
you need
have
to
to
go through them.
take it. Yeah.
Okay, I still want you to answer this question for the sake of
Okay.
how, because you can see it, and however you answer it is great. This is generally what's happening out there in the architecture world. Do you feel that there is a glass ceiling to get into
Mhm.
top positions in architecture for women? If yes, what is your advice for other women architects who are struggling to, especially those who are a few years younger than you and thinking, oh, I might as well quit because, it's just say they're in a company that is not as like your company. From
Um,
your observation, how do you actually, is there a glass ceiling? Is it difficulty? Is it a male dominated industry? And
it is a male-dominated industry, but it's not just glass ceilings, actually walls as well, glass wall.
wow,
But yeah, it comes in mazes. It is like invisible maze wall,
wow.
actually.
Mm.
So it's sometimes you get pushed around, sometimes you get sometimes it's not really direct. Sometimes it's a bit subtle. It's sometimes it's in the expectations, in the stereotypes. Like sometimes in the in just the blink of eye, you can definitely tell, but it's not very direct. I would say it's it,
Mm.
um it's quite subtle. Tapi but for me, I think because the reputation from my previous bosses as an assistant was so powerful that that would give me the advantage as well lah, um because people don't um dare do funny things, because definitely we will um
You get that
do
sort of protection from your bosses when you were younger.
not just back those days, but also now, because the perception is still there. So there was like a kind of protection thing, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
protection, but something that shielded me from not being underestimated. But it
yeah.
depends. It sometimes it depends as well, because when you were dealing with those at the lower ranks, I mean, for those with the top rankings, managements, most of them are quite okay, because, like, for my Jandela, my project manager is female, the head of township is also female, so the empowerment is already there. But but for my other projects, it's not like that. My other projects, um, um, the how do you say? It's not very direct. You don't really say
Mm.
it, but you can feel it. So that's why I say it's actually a maze, because you get pushed around sometimes.
At your level, even as technical director, you still face this subtle biasness, shall we say, in
um, I think at the beginning, because when I first took over, because now I took over, basically I took over Aslan's work. So when I first took over from him, there was a huge expectation. So for me to be at the same par with him. So the
Hmm.
the the expectations that for me to excel like them. But now that I mean, after 2 3 years now, along the way they start to, I mean, my current, at least for my current clients lah, they start to know me, they start to know how well I can be, how articulate I can be in terms of contract, in terms of my work. So I think the perception is shifting a bit. It's probably still there, but it's shifting slowly lah.
Yes, it's difficult when like in football game, kan, where the where you want to replace the star player, right? And then they think, can she do this? Can she do that? Yeah,
Yeah,
is she
yeah.
able to? Yeah, giving the chance, right? And it helps the fact that they still trust your company to do their project, and isn't it? And they trust the decision by the directors. And but the impression of the female architect, the impression that the leader is a female, is something a lot of others face as well, isn't it? This is kind of
Yeah.
like um, some projects. Um, Sometimes female leaders are even more critical than, would you say? Than
Yeah.
yes, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
female
I agree.
leaders more critical? Is it the value and they want you to be tough? Because just say I have a younger architect under me and I'll be tougher. It seems I'll be tougher because I know that when that architect gets to my level, they're gonna be like, um, they cannot. I mean, they can give up with the sort of challenges that they will face. Do you agree? And why do you agree?
Partly, yes, but I also believe that it's also your character and how you carry yourselves, how you navigate yourselves when there are disputes, how do you say yes when you want to say no, how do you do
Mm,
what's right against what is being asked. So part of it is, like I said just now, it's soft skills. So um, like for instance, I've seen like some male architects versus female architects, but the female architects are more dominant as compared to the male.
mm,
So I think um, I cannot say it on behalf of other firms,
mm,
but from what I've gone through, I think it is mostly your character, and not just in character. There are also some female architects who they themselves felt low confidence, felt that insecurity, maybe because of other personal issues. I do not know. But there are female architects who really step up, which I really adore. When listening to them feels so powerful. So I mean,
there are some
because my
characters.
yeah, so but because I also started with Azra and Sastina, so I see them. I see Sastina as well as my role model from beginning. There are advantages as becoming as being as a female as well, because there are times that you can be charming, there are times you can be adorable, but there are times that you when you have to stand firm, you have to stand firm. So sometimes when you go to authorities or bomba ke, it's good to be females because they are senang sikit nak to sympathize you. But when you deal with big guns at the developers, you need to stand firm, you need to be the man. So I always told my staff that you just have to be the actress. You have to be able to adapt on what situation with who you are and where you are. You just have to be. That is the kind of things that you don't learn in school, but it is the
Mm.
kind of things that you will learn through experience on 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 how to be a good actress.
I understand it because an architect who is at the top level said that the problem with female architects or female who are in companies in general with regard compared to male architects or male in general is that uh, they need to learn how to bounce back from setbacks, meaning that managing egos. They need to learn to manage egos. And
Mm-mm.
I think you agree with that, don't you? That in a
Yeah,
way
yeah,
thing about the actress thing, yeah.
yeah. Sometimes it's not about you don't have to know everything. It is impossible to know everything, but you have to know like to ask the right questions. You have to know to leading is not it doesn't mean that you have to know everything. It just means that you have to know how to navigate, how to ask the right questions, how to carry the weight of making decisions while still being human. And that is something.
Yeah, that's important, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the soft skill that I'm trying to say lah.
You mentioned the soft skill is very important. Architecture is about people, and you talk about empathy, and it's the way we look at a very rough and shall we say, it's business. Architecture is about dealing with businesses. I mean, you're a
Yeah.
business, and you get offering services. and the set of skills that you mentioned just now, which has to do building up a character and having to be able to be adaptable in
Mm-mm.
different situation. Asking, if you are a leader, you're not, there's no such thing as perfection. It's just you need to understand to ask the right questions, but to enable to ask the right question means that you have gone through the asam garam or the difficulties
Yes.
of life that you can able to ask the right questions, isn't it? From
Yeah.
learning from mistakes. Would you like to say in 5 minutes, or you're given 5 minutes to sort of conclude from part one and part two of this interview that I'm having with you, Architect Aisha, on the matter of women architects in leadership roles, and which you might have missed, or maybe you'd like to underline further. Thank you.
I think the like I said just now, you just have to keep showing up. No matter how bad it is, no matter how difficult, keep showing up. Never stop learning, and never think that you are, even if you are an architect, never think that you are too senior to learn from the orang bawah-bawah, like the
The
even the roofers.
juniors.
Yes, even the draftsmen as well.
Yeah.
When you think you are great, there are always people who are greater than you. There are always people who are bigger than you. So always be humble. Um, some of my best, even myself, some of my best lessons in my journey are from those part one draftsmen, and I
Yeah.
really enjoy working with them. And even some apa ni the bangla workers at site, the way
Yeah.
they suddenly when you are walking and they whisper assalamualaikum, and then there are so many things that you can learn, because knowledge doesn't always come um, in a formal learning. It is an ongoing process. So, but the most important is you just have to show up. What's worse than not show up is not showing up at all. Because if you don't show up, then you don't learn anything. And also, as a Muslim, I believe in barakah, in ilmu. So when you gain something, and when you teach back, and when you give back, you with you will definitely gain back. So I always believe that ilmu is barakah. So and I always carry my measuring tape on my in my handbag as well, because you never know. Sometimes, oh, what is this? What is this? What is that? So and then I forgot to say that sometimes things can get very difficult. Sometimes things can get too overwhelmed. So try to find something that helps you release. Like for me, some people they love to cook. Like for me, I will make my art. I will spend a bit of time to make my art. There's no such thing as, I mean, work balance doesn't necessarily mean 50-50. Work balance is more of, work balance is never symmetry. Work balance is not like a pie chart, beautiful pie chart. It is basically whatever it doing it meaningfully. So when you do your work, you do it 100% meaningful. And then when you are at home, you focus it on it. Basically, it's more of meaningful, finding the meaningful life rather than 50-50 work balance. So that is what I think.
Yes, it's not like checklist, isn't it? It's tick the boxes. It's like how you feel relating to your body, how you're satisfied or not meaningfully, right? When you're doing
Yeah,
is it a moment sort of thing. Okay.
yeah.
I learned a lot from you, Aisha. Thank you so much. And um apart from that, would you like to comment anything else?
Um, you don't need to be loud to be respected. You don't need a perfect plan to leave a lasting impact. Just always be curious, be consistent, and stay grounded.
Okay, be consistent is the thing about showing up, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
always, all that, you are still interested. So thank you again, and all the best in your project, and much
Thank you very
success
much.
to you in all that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I hope I help a bit.
I'm
Whatever
sure
I
there's a lot of interesting insights here, and you can unpack a lot of things. You can even do another series on just one thing that you said. But never mind. Time is short and we need to juggle our time. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
again. Thank you again.
Okay,
Good
thank
to
you so
see
much,
you.
Dr. Nancy.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Bye.